So as of late, I've been doing a lot of testing when it comes to various programs, as well as settings that you can change in either Windows 10 or Windows 11 to squeeze out a little bit of extra performance, especially if you have aging hardware where a couple of extra FPS and a little bit more stability is going to go a long way. And then about a week or two ago, somebody mentioned to me Nvidia Profile Inspector, and there's certain settings in there that yield a lot of performance. So in today's video, I'm going to go through the settings of Nvidia Profile Inspector, this program over here. It's basically an extension of the Nvidia control panel, just a couple of extra settings that supposedly give you extra performance or tweak things a little bit. So I'm going to go through these settings and I'm going to tell you which settings actually add extra performance. So let's get to my results. So what I did is I recorded the settings I currently have in my system, the settings that I regard to be the absolute best. And what I did is I called that my base performance, and those are my settings as is. I used the latest Nvidia driver 531.29 because I need to do a driver comparison soon. Unfortunately, I am stuck using GeForce Experience because recording gameplay, you lose least FPS with GeForce Experience, otherwise I wouldn't use it. All my games are tested at medium settings, where FSR 2.0 or 2.1 was available, I used the quality setting. So guys, I've got a whole bunch of settings here, so it's going to get quite long if I do my usual, added up all the FPS, got a total amount divided by blah 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 blah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to breeze through these settings, and I'm just going to tell you which gives you the best stability. So my base settings, when I divide the average FPS by the average 1% low, my stability reading is 77.27 over 5 games. Then in Nvidia Profile Inspector, in this section over here, common, a lot of people say CUDA force P2 state. If you switch it from on to off, you get extra performance. So that's exactly what I tested over 5 games, got the average FPS, got the average 1% lows, divided the 1% lows by the average FPS, and it gave me a stability reading of 76.40. So my conclusion is just leave the default setting. Next, a lot of people say all the G-Sync settings, disable them or switch them off. So yet again, disabled all the G-Sync settings, got my average FPS, got my average 1% lows, divided my 1% lows by my average FPS, and my stability was 75%. Yet again, my conclusion is just to leave the default setting. Next, there's a section anti-aliasing. Where is it? It's a setting over here. So a lot of people say by switching the anti-aliasing gamma is on, by switching it off, and then also switching anti-aliasing line off and disabling FXAA off, you get more performance. So same thing, added up all my average FPSs, got to an average amount over here, added up all my 1% lows, got to the average over here of 54.60, divided the 1% lows by the average FPS, and it gave me a stability of 76.47. Yet again, lower than my base settings. So same thing, my conclusion is every setting and in anti-aliasing gamma, blah 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 blah, just leave it default settings. Next setting, what people recommend is prevent anisotropic filtering. By default it's off. You put it on, it gives you more performance. Not my conclusion yet again, because my stability reading for that was 75.99. My conclusion, just leave at the default setting. And then second from last, memory allocation policy and the variable refresh rate. These are settings that people say if you tweak them, they give you more performance. Went through my process again, divide the 1% low by the average FPS, and it gives me a stability reading of 75.63%. Yet again, my conclusion is just leave it at the default setting. A certain pattern is starting to be exposed here. And guys, that finally leads me to my last setting, and it's literally the only thing in Nvidia Profile Inspector that you should change that is going to give you better performance. So by default, I normally disable this Nvidia predefined Ansel usage. So because I normally disable it, I went ahead and I enabled it to benchmark it against my default settings. And would you believe it? The only thing that makes a difference in the Nvidia Profile Inspector is disabling Nvidia predefined Ansel usage. Because once I re-enable Ansel, my performance of my average FPS, or my average 1% load divided by my average FPS, gives me stability of 72.96. So guys, as you can see, that's the biggest tangible change that's occurred in this whole testing session. So guys, the conclusion of this video, if you're going to use Nvidia Profile Inspector, the only thing you should be changing is disabling Nvidia predefined Ansel usage. Everything else is going to give you the SIBO results. The best performance is to change the things as I do in the Nvidia control panel, and in Nvidia Profile Inspector, only thing you should change is Nvidia predefined Ansel usage. Set it from allow to disallow. Other than that, everything else doesn't really give you extra performance. I must say, there is one thing, I didn't test this on any online games. I play mostly single player games. I do understand, if you're playing multiplayer online battle games, there might be a couple of settings might be different. But if you play single player games, only thing you should change is Nvidia predefined Ansel usage from allow to disallow. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a difference of opinion, hit me up in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button. And if you're still watching and you're not subscribed, now's the time to do so. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day. It's people like you. Cheers.